Hello, good morning, my dear students. I am here, Professor Mohammad Shahid Arshad, Assistant Professor of Civil Engineering Department, Anjuman College of Engineering and Technology. I am here to teach you the subject Environmental Engineering 1, that is, it is all about the water supply engineering. Okay, okay. We will move further to the next slide. So this is all about my introduction, that I have completed my BE in civil engineering and I have completed my MTech in environmental engineering. I have more than 7-year experience and industrial experiences, 1.5 years, and I have published more various conferences, papers in various conferences and international journals and national journals. So today's contents is all about the introduction of subject, objectives of subject, outcomes of subject, syllabus, and brief introduction of unit number 1. Okay. Let's start an introduction of environmental engineering 1, that is water supply engineering. Now, what are the objectives, that why we are studying in the environmental engineering 1 in the syllabus? That first point here, it is mentioned that to prepare the students to apply basic knowledge of environmental engineering in conventional civil engineering practice involving water supply. Means we have to apply the basic knowledge of environmental engineering. That what is environment, what is environmental, that we are living in an environment in which we require air, water to sustain our life, okay? And especially land. So the land, the study of land is known as geosphere, the study of air is known as atmosphere, and the study of water is known as hydrosphere, and the that is the study of all three spheres is known as biosphere, and these three studies is related with the is known as environmental engineering. Now, as the purpose, as the objective of civil engineering, that to provide safe environment for a human being, in which all the natural resources and natural resources should be applied and should be supplied to the human being at a very convenient cost and should be at ease. So we have this is our prime objective, that we have to apply the knowledge of environmental engineering in the conventional civil engineering practice and involving water supply engineering. Now, point number 2 is the course will provide the students knowledge regarding the sources of water demand. That as we are studying the water supply, means we have to apply the knowledge regarding the what are the various sources of water, what are the various demands of water, that how the demands fluctuate in the seasons, according to the seasons. Now, what are the various methods of forecasting the population, and what are the various mechanisms and methods of conveyance of water. So these are the methodology, and these are the mechanism which should be have to learn, and which we have to apply to the actual practice in the system. Okay. Now, point number 3 is to prepare the students to analyze, plan and design of various phases of water supply system. That how the water supply system run, in which we have to first analyze the about the conditions, analyze about the water type of water, analyze about the type of source, analyze about the type of condition, etc., etc. Now, according to the conditions, according to the analysis, we have to plan and we have to design the various phases of water supply system. Okay. Now, next point is we have to provide the students the knowledge regarding various characteristics of water. Now, as the characteristics of water is involved or come to our mind, there are broadly 3 characteristics of water, that is physical, chemical and biological. Means the characteristic of water, that is which can be seen and which can be felt, is known as physical. Secondary, that is the chemical characteristics, means how much water content is chemically fit or not, is there any excess amount of chemical or not, etc., etc. So what are the various chemicals is present in it. Similarly, the biological, means the water is free from bacteria or not, virus, how much amount of microorganism is present, what kind of microorganism is present, etc. Now, and the estimation of quantity of water, that is the how much water is required for a particular society, for a particular town, and for a particular city, and therefore we have to get arranged, and we have to get the source for a particular source to fulfill the demands and for fulfill the quantity of water of a particular city, particular town, or particular state. Okay, now fifth point is the course will provide this course will provide with the fundamentals of solid waste management. Now according in this system or in this syllabus, there is a small portion is also included, that is the solid waste management, in which we are going to teach you the very fundamental, that is very important or very basic fundamentals of solid waste management. That is, along with all the water supply system, there are some important portion of solid waste management is also going to teach to you all. So these are 5 objectives is related with the environmental engineering one. So we have to keep it in mind. Next, now what are the outcomes? Now what this subject think for you, that they, after learning all the contents of the syllabus, what the subject feel that the student shall be able to, मतलब सब कुछ पढ़ने के बाद स्टूडेंट सिलेबस आपसे क्या एक्सपेक्ट करता है कि आपको क्या क्या आना चाहिए. So these are the outcomes. Now the first outcomes is that the student shall be able to understand the importance and necessity of water supply. That is number one, means we have to understand the importance of especially water. Is this the syllabus required for you? Second, the necessity of water supply means is how the necessity of water supply system is required, and what are the types of it, and how the system of water supply works. Second, that how to determine that the student shall be able to determine the capacity of water supply scheme, means what are the various supply system, what are the various components of supply system, and how to determine the capacity of that supply system. ठीक है ना, मीन्स ये सारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस, ये सारे आउटकम्स एक स्टूडेंट से एक सिलेबस और सब्जेक्ट चाहता है. ठीक है. नाउ थर्ड पॉइंट इज आइडेंटिफाई द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ वाटर. मीन्स आफ्टर this contents, after learning the contents, we should learning the contents, the student should identify the characteristics of water. That is after just examining the water, he or she should characterize or classify the water according to its characteristics. Secondly, we should know the various drinking water standards. Now what is drinking water standard? That is how much the water should lie in the value of pH, excess quantity of how amount of total solids should contains. Now why the necessity of treatment is required. So these are the various types of importance of water supply system is required. ठीक है. Now fourth point is design various units of conventional water treatment. Means we have to be able to design, means we have to be able to design, means hydraulic design. कि मान लीजिए कि इसमें एरेशन सिस्टम है, तो एरेशन सिस्टम कैसे डिज़ाइन करना पड़ेगा. सेडिमेंटेशन है तो सेडिमेंटेशन कैसे डिज़ाइन करेंगे. व्हाट आर द वेरियस डिज़ाइन क्राइटेरिया फॉर इट, व्हाट आर द वेरियस मेथड फॉर इट टू डिज़ाइन these standards for. Now fifth point is outcomes of it, that how the system is equipped with basic knowledge related to the design of water supply system. मतलब कितना सिस्टम होना चाहिए, आपका नॉलेज, बेसिक नॉलेज होना चाहिए रिलेटेड टू द डिज़ाइन ऑफ सप्लाई सिस्टम. ठीक है ना. नेक्स्ट इज हाउ टू दैट द स्टूडेंट शैड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द नेसेसिटी ऑफ वाटर ट्रीटमेंट एंड टाइप्स ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट. मतलब कौन से टाइप के ट्रीटमेंट्स आर अवेलेबल, एंड व्हाई these types of treatments are required, and what are the types of treatments are required depending upon the type of water, and the processes and disposal methods of solid waste matter. And as we have discussed earlier, that the small content of solid waste management is also included in the structure of the syllabus. Therefore in this outcome the student shall be able to discuss about the processes and disposal method of solid waste management. Okay. Now these are the syllabus, that is in the theory content. Unit number 1, that is importance and necessity of water supply scheme. water demand, that is all types of water demands, its empirical formula, how to calculate the water demand, what are the various factors which affect the per capita demand, that is the demand which required by for one person, variation demand, that is how the demand fluctuate according to condition, that is a seasonal demand, hourly demand, monthly demand, etc. And design period, that how the demand should be designed for a particular period, how the water supply system component should be designed for a particular period, and that particular system should be designed for how much population. Therefore the population forecasting methods is also is also discussed in this section, that is population forecasting methods, and their examples is also discussed, that is population forecasting methods available. Various types of methods are available, and therefore these methods are very important as far as the RTMNA examination is concerned. Similarly, the sources of water, rainwater, groundwater, springs, infiltration galleries, dug wells, tube wells, surface water stream, lake, river, impounding reservoir, ponds and sea. So these are the various types of sources of water. We will going to see all these sources of water in detail, and how the sources of water is required depending upon the condition, okay, and how the water supply scheme extract the water from all the sources. Okay. Now intake structure means how the intake structure is the structure is constructed at a particular source of water, and to extract water from a particular source to the water supply system, in which we will going to study that how the location is decided, that where the intake structure should be located, what are the various types of intake structure, especially the river intake, lake intake, canal intake, reservoir intake, and etc. Okay. Now unit number 2 is conveyance of water, means how the water is conveyed from one point to another point. So what are the various methods, what are the various mechanisms, so these are all covered in unit number 2. Pipes, types of pipes, joints, fittings, valves and appendices, that is what are the various types of pipes are available, according to condition which types of pipes should be selected. Now what are the joints are available, joints should be used depending upon the type of pipe, fittings and valves should be used depending upon the pressure, force and type of joints and its appendices. Okay. Now next is hydraulic design aspect, that is friction, mannings, depending upon the friction condition, that is Darcy's Weisbach formula, Manning's formula, Hazen's formula equations, and their numericals are also discussed and are also solved. Okay. The next content is that is the rising main and pumps, that is what is the concept of rising mains, classification of rising mains and pumps, how the working of pumps is work depending upon the types of pumps and its classification, what are the various merits and demerits, and how the pumps are selected depending upon the source and depending upon the condition. So this and also the numericals are also is related to the pumps, and this is very important unit as far as the numerical is concerned, because the numericals related to pumps and numericals related to hydraulic design of pipes are very important as far as the examination point of view concerned and the engineering point of view is concerned, because these numericals are also related in further semesters. And these numericals will help in further studies of fluid mechanics. Therefore these numericals are very important, and further these numericals will help in our actual practice of in civil engineering. Okay. So these are the initially we will I have discussed only unit number 1 and 2. Now these are the syllabus of practical. There are 13 practical which is provided by the RTMNA, and we will have to conduct only 7 out of them. As far as the college is concerned, we will very soon at the end of this November or from the 1st of the November, college will resume there, and after the resumption of college, these practicals will commence, will start. So what are the practicals are associated in this syllabus, that is the determination of pH, determination of conductivity, determination of chloride, determination of solids, that is suspended and dissolved solid, determination of turbidity, determination of acidity, determination of dissolved oxygen, that is DO, determination of membrane filtration technique, determination of available chlorine, determination of residual chlorine, and determination what is jar test, that is we have to identify and we have to determine the optimum dose of coagulant, bacteriological plate count test, and most probable number test, that is MPM test, and determination of alkalinity. So these are the 13 tests, and out of certain tests we will have to do minimum 7, but we will do at least 10 practicals out of it, which is most important and related to our future studies. Okay. So these are the reference books related to our studies, which is very important, and what are the name of it, that is water supply and sanitary engineering by BC Punmia, which is published by the Lakshmi publication, environmental engineering, that is water supply engineering by SK Garg, by Khanna publication, in water supply and sanitary by GSBD by Dhanpad Rai publication. So, and these are the reference book. So these are the textbooks which is given by or which is suggested by the RTM University syllabus, and these are the reference book, that is CPH EEO manual, that is Central Public Health Environmental Engineering Organization manual, that is New Delhi, which is provided us by the Ministry of Urban Health, Government of India. Similarly, वाटर सप्लाई एंड सीवेज बाय MJ मैक्की, दैट इज़ मैकग्रॉ हिल की तरफ से हमको दिया हुआ है, एंड एनवायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल, दैट इज़ बाय CS Rao, also it is given by the McGraw Hill. Now what is unit number 1? Just we'll start a brief introduction of it, that how the water cycle behaves and what is known as water cycle. This is the beginning, just the beginning. I am not very much give a stress in just unit number, just on the first lecture to you. The water cycle, that is also known as hydrological cycle, describes the continuous movement of water as it makes a circuit from the water bodies to the atmosphere and to the earth again. So how the water cycle behave? Number 1, as the sun gives the heat to the actual collected water body, the evaporation generate. The evaporation generate, that is the vapors were released in the atmosphere, and the atmosphere it creates clouds, and after the condensation it generates the precipitation, and precipitation, that is the rainfall, it again comes down to the that is to the ground, that is in the form of rain, and again it is collected to the water bodies, and so therefore it is a complete water cycle. This is the basic study which we have earlier studied in our school days. Now now I am going to study this is the basic study. I am further tell you in detail, that is what is known as evaporation, evapotranspiration, what is known as runoff, etc. Now first, that is after the heating process of the sun, the vapors or especially transpirations occur. Now what is transpiration? That is the vapors which is generated by the plants, that is known as the transpiration process, and also the vapors which is generated from the water bodies, that is known as the evaporation. Now both that is the transpiration and evaporation, if occur at the same place or occur simultaneously, then this process is known as evapotranspiration. Number 1. Then again the process, the vapors released in the upward direction and form the cloud, and again the condensation occurs in the form of precipitation, and then the cold water or the rainfall occurs, and again these rainfall or the precipitation comes down in the form of water. Okay. Now the rainfall, again runoff, that is the flowing water is run off into the action of gravity or into the downward direction, and where the runoff, that is the runoff means the flowing water is then collected to a water body. So this is known as the water cycle or the hydrological cycle. So what is the importance of water? That is, no life can occur or can exist without water. It is as essential for life as air. 2/3 of human body is constituted of water and provide luxuries and comforts to human being. So this is the importance and necessity of water, and without water no life can exist. Therefore you can imagine, or you can understand that how much importance or how much important the subject is, and how much important the study of subject of this environmental engineering one is. Okay, now the objectives of protected water supply is that we have to supply. Now अब हमारे क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं कि वाटर सप्लाई सिस्टम जो हम लोग अभी उसका डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि सिस्टम का प्रोटेक्टेड क्या होना चाहिए, अच्छे से वाटर सप्लाई स्कीम अच्छे से वर्क कैसे करना चाहिए, क्यों करना चाहिए, मीन्स टू सप्लाई सेफ एंड होलसम वाटर टू कंज्यूमर, टू सप्लाई सेफ water in sufficient quantities. अच्छा, first quantity is to supply safe and wholesome water to consumer means the water should be free from any type of microorganism, free from impurities, and it gives wholesome water means it should be free. It should be added with the minerals, that is wholesome water to consumers. Similarly, the second point is to supply water in sufficient quantities means the consumer should not be deficient of water, and it should be used in sufficient quantity. And third point is to supply water at convenient points and timing means the consumer should not suffer, and the consumer should not go at particular point to get the desired quantity of water. And we have to supply water at reasonable cost to the consumer and to the user, and that the consumer should not have to pay for water, because it is a life for the user. And we have to encourage the personal and household cleanliness for the users, because the cleanliness is very important for the water. Okay. So what are the components of protected water means? These are the first is a source of water means where we have to extract water. Number 2 is intake means where we have to get the water. Number 3 is treatment. Number 4 is distribution. Okay. Next is classification, that is sources of water. That is broadly the sources of water is classified into two types: surface water and subsurface water. Means now surface water means the water which can be seen at naked eyes and which is available on the surface of earth. Now especially the river water, lake water, the spring water. Okay. Now so what is subsurface water means the water which is available at the or below the surface of the water, therefore it is known as subsurface water. Now what are the basic example of it? That is dug well, tube well, infiltration galleries means that is the below the ground surface. Okay, na? So these are the classification of it. That is sources of water is ponds, lakes, rivers, impounding reservoirs. Subsurface, that is springs, wells, infiltration galleries, and etc. You may see in detail. That is a schematic diagram of typical water supply. And after the sources of water, this is this water supply scheme. After sources of water, the selection of sources of water, the water is get to the intake works, and after the intake works, the water is get to the treatment works, and treatment works is further classified or further goes into these sections, that is aeration, sedimentation, filtration, disinfection, or sometimes miscellaneous process. And after the treatment process, the water goes for the distribution section, and after the distribution section it comes to the consumer system. So this is all about my today's lecture, that is about the introduction and water supply scheme. and we will study by tomorrow in detail in by one and its importance. So thank you for patience listening. So this is Professor Muhammad Shahid Arshad signing off for today's lecture. Thank you.